Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening and good morning. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys all doing well. Hope this show finds you in good spirits. Because another day above the dirt is always a blessing, guys. We have some new updates revolving around this missing person case. Revolving around Dane-Paulsen. And I'm not really going to do like a warm-up song or, warm-up music to this right now. Of course, if you can, hit the like button, hit the reaction button, hit that subscribe button as well. That'd be greatly appreciated and all that stuff. I'm just catching wind of this information. I'm still trying to get as much information as I can. Of course, this is not the greatest of news. This is really sad. And I still want to know what the heck happened here. But from what we're understanding is that little Dane, 2-year-old little Dane, and I want to make sure I have a photo of him here so I can hold on one second, because I think we all need to see this little boy's face before we continue. Little Dane, baby Dane, was allegedly just found about an hour or so ago in the very river that they've been looking for the last, I don't even know. Has it been 10 or 11 days now? 11, 12 some odd days right now. And so we are now getting wind that he has been found. What's interesting, though, is that they've literally been scouring this same river for weeks now. And I guess somebody came in from another town. Like I said, I'm just getting all this information right now. We're all going to get this information live as I dive into this information. But from what I'm understanding is that he was found by somebody who was only there for a few hours. So suddenly this guy, and thank God that this person was able to find him so quickly, because this could have gone on forever, right? And the speculations would have gotten even more insane, because they was starting to go off the rails a little bit there. And rightfully so, understandably, right? But the fact that this particular person that came to search and rescue was able to recover little baby Dane's remains in that river, that very river, I have to repeat that again, that very river that they have been searching through for weeks, several days, guys, several days. And now this young boy has been found. So for those of y'all who don't know the story, this is just a quick breakdown, because there really hasn't been much, okay? There really hasn't been much information out here, which has been kind of annoying. Understandably, for us who are nosy as hell, I mean, we're all nosy because we care and we want to know what the heck happened here. But this young boy was outside of his house, all right, playing in his front yard, and it's a massive front yard. But apparently he was playing in an area where he was, quote unquote, out of sight in broad daylight. And then he just up and disappeared. So the question still remains, what happened? Now, I get it. He's 2 years old. 2 years olds. 2-year-olds are going to be 2-year-old out here. Let's be real. 2-year-olds are going to do what 2-year-olds do best, which is be curious about everything, have an abundance amount of energy. They are pretty quick. If you aren't watching them, if you're not watching them well enough, you know what I mean? If you're not watching them, any second, you could turn back around in the direction of where that kid was, that 2-year-old was, and that 2-year-old could be on on the opposite side of the house in a matter of nanoseconds. The energy in a 2-year-old is pretty insane, and amazing and enduring and adorable and all that. It's frustrating. It's lovely. It's everything. You know what I mean? 2-year-olds will 2-year-old out here. But something about this just seems odd. And of course, I'm not going to sit here and say foul play because anything is possible. But I am quite curious as to what happened here. How did this happen? How was he, quote unquote, out of sight? And for how long was he out of sight for? That's the thing I think a lot of us are wanting to know. How long was he out of sight for? So we got a couple things. I mean, people have been posting a lot of different things online. So we're going to take a look at a couple of these things. Like I said, there hasn't been a whole lot of information out there as of yet, but at least social media is letting other people know that he has been found. So for example, shout out to I Am Legacy. All right. She does fantastic work. Okay. And fantastic coverage, but Dane-Paulsen has been found deceased in the river. It took just 2 hours for Juan Heredia, hopefully I'm saying that right, to locate Dane. So it only took Juan 2 hours to find Dane in this very river that law enforcement and other locals were searching in. I mean, people were in scuba gear, etc. So again, this is really, really wild. Okay. And absolutely heartbreaking to say the least. We got a couple things on Facebook as well. Of course, let's see. Let's see right here. Missing people in America. This was posted about 17 minutes ago. It is with great sadness to report Dane-Paulsen has been found deceased in the river. Diver Juan. Okay. I'm not going to say his last name again because that was tough. I'll say it again. Heredia. Hopefully I'm saying that again correctly, but who had been working on the scene searching for him, discovered his body a short while ago. So again, like I said, this little boy was indeed found in the river. So again, he was last seen in the yard of his home, okay, his front yard at approximately 4:30 p.m. on Saturday. And that was literally 11 days ago where he went missing. Okay. He was last seen wearing a dark gray fuzzy hoodie. The mom even said that he was wearing, that he had a fuzzy hoodie with bear ears on it or something like that, like animal ears on it. Okay. Black pants, blue/white shoes. Dane has brown hair that is shaved on the sides. Okay. And long on the top, and he has green eyes. All right. And again, this is all very heartbreaking information. Of course, there's a lot of people that feel some type of way that, the parents should be held accountable for this situation. I don't know. I don't know about all that. I leave that up to law enforcement and, because we don't know the full situation. That's what's so frustrating about this. The information has been very, very minimal at best. Okay. So just a quick recap for those who don't remember or don't even know about Dane-Paulsen's situation. Okay. So the day of the disappearance, I'm sorry. He was first reported missing to the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office on Saturday, March 1st. So 11 whole days ago at 4:30 in the afternoon. So broad daylight, he disappeared. Again, broad daylight, he's playing outside in the front yard, doing what kids do, and then poof, he disappeared, right? At the time of his disappearance, Dane reported he was playing in the yard of the residence near milepost 21 on Siletz River Highway. However, authorities report that Dane had not been in his parents' eyesight at the time. That day, he was wearing a gray fuzzy hoodie with ears, black pants, and blue and white shoes. Law enforcement later updated his description to include that he has brown hair and green eyes. Officials immediately began searching the family's residence and surrounding areas, as they should. But at the same time, again, the burning question is, he had not been in his parents' eyesight at the time. What does that mean exactly? I mean, I know that means that, like, they weren't watching him, basically. But again, at the same time, when you say they weren't watching him, for how long were they not watching him? If he really was outside for 30 minutes by himself, that's 30 minutes. A 2-year-old can do a lot of bad in 30 minutes. If it's 10 minutes, shoot, 3 minutes, a kid can do a lot of bad in 3 minutes. Okay? Kid could get bored, start wondering, oh, there's that area that I'm not allowed to go to. I'm 2 years old, so I don't fully understand consequences, right? I don't fully understand right and wrong. All I know is that I'm not allowed to be over there. I wonder why. Then they go over there, and then they slip, they fall, God knows what. And I know there's a lot of people out here that are speculating foul play of some sort, that this was not an accident. I don't know. All I know is this is heartbreaking and very, very frustrating, because there's a lot of people out here that really wanted to see this kid found alive. Shortly after his disappearance, this is what was interesting for a while, because it wasn't only just this. There was another piece of information that came out just about a day or two ago. And in fact, like I said, I had a lot of plans to give you guys some information revolving around Dane, but news be newsing, and then of course time constraints and whatnot. But there's more information which I'm going to share with you guys in a second here if I can find it. But shortly after his disappearance, there was speculation about this gold 1990 station wagon, okay, that was seen in the area, and it was a vehicle of interest for about 5 seconds, really, okay, by law enforcement. Community tips led authorities to the owner of the vehicle. After officials thoroughly interviewed and investigated both the driver and the car, they found that to be unrelated to his disappearance, and are no longer, of course, the car and the person are no longer a point of interest in this operation, which clearly makes sense now that he's been found in the river, right? But at the same time, I get it that there was a lot of speculation. There was a lot of finger pointing. There was a lot of hints or clues. And that's what happens in an investigation, right? So some search efforts continued among community volunteers and local authorities, including the sheriff's office from Lane and a bunch of other counties. Okay. So day 3, I mean, we don't have to go through all of this, day 4 and all that. They were doing everything they could to find this young boy, but they were not successful in finding Dane. And then just a little bit ago, this young boy was found. But I'm going to play some videos here, just a little bit of a trip down memory lane, so that you guys can remember all of this stuff, because again, this is all heartbreaking. Okay. But very, very strange. Let me just say that, because there was lack of information. But at the same time, what can you say except he wasn't being tended to? And if the facts are true, if they're 100% true, he wasn't being tended to. He ran to the river. Maybe he threw a ball in it. I don't know. Wanted to retrieve it, slipped and fell. That's possible. Or he wanted to go, I don't know, God forbid, but maybe he just wanted to go swimming. I don't know. Like I said, it just doesn't. He loved the water. That's what they say. So that's possible too. But again, heartbreaking information. So 1 second, guys. Hold on 1 second. Come on. That's not what I wanted. They had a press conference. Hold on, guys. Here, let's try this.
Well, it is day 4 in the search for a missing toddler in the town of Siletz. Now, we are expecting an update in about 15 minutes from the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office, but so far there has been no sign of the 2-year-old boy. Joe Ranieri is in Siletz, where those volunteers continued their search today.
It has been an agonizing 4 days for the family of 2-year-old Dane-Paulsen, who went missing late Saturday afternoon. Since then, hundreds of volunteers have been searching the area where he was last seen.
Hi, if you're searching, we need you to sign in over here, please.
On Tuesday, volunteers were out here again.
I'm saying we're probably pushing 600 now since Sunday.
Jeff Lawrence has been helping with the volunteer efforts as hundreds have been gathering at this Elks Lodge just across the Siletz River from where the 2-year-old boy was last seen.
We had kind of called the search last night on this side, and then they decided again to open it up. So it went back out on social media. So we've had people coming in since about 8:30 or 9 this morning.
Lawrence said he called the search off last night only to have it start up again on Tuesday morning. This time, crews went miles back into this forested area and worked their way back.
They came into an area and then they're going to push back this way. So they started a long ways off, and they'll be coming back this way.
Crews have been spread all over this area in the Coast Range searching.
As far as the search, I can tell you the efforts have been just phenomenal. So between the personnel that have been out here and the donations that we've gotten from the community,
in hopes that this little boy is found.
I mean, again, there was a lot of people out there. And I just want to say, shout out to all y'all that were out there trying to find this young boy. It is still pretty wild that things were kind of missed. But still, no matter what, the fact that he is found, that's good news. That's absolutely good news, but absolutely devastating information to find out that this young boy has been found in this way. Of course, we're hoping for something different, but this is now the situation. But it says here, the diver Juan, is answering the call once again. This is before, This is before, just letting you know, because I don't know who this diver Juan guy is. With all due respect, I don't know who he is. But he went out there. He was in Oregon, diving in the river, in hopes of finding Dane, And of course, he has dedicated his life to search and recovery, recently finding 2 boys in the Colorado River after extensive searches by law enforcement. Now he's camping on the riverbanks, driven by the mission to bring closure to families, which is amazing, Sending strength and prayers to Juan and all that are involved. And of course, this is diver Juan. I mean, he definitely has a certain set of skills. That's definitely a certain set of skills that he got. I'll tell you what, that's some serious skills. So again, Juan flew home from his vacation in Mexico and drove to Oregon. All right. And he had just arrived a few hours ago. Literally. He arrived a few hours ago, showed up, and found this little boy like that. That's insane. Just 2 hours of him being out there finding this little boy. So again, I guess he was tagged on social media a bunch of times trying to find him, trying to get him to go out there and find him. So yeah. Yeah, he really was out there trying to find little Dane. Again, it's insane. And no, it's not being ruled a homicide. Not yet, at least. I mean, it's only been a few hours since this, maybe 2 hours since this boy was found. I mean, they haven't even made a full statement from what I understand. That's what I mean by like, I've been looking everywhere to see if there's any more information revolving around his whereabouts and him being found. But we have not found anything. You know, they haven't said anything about this. Okay. But let's see. Let's see this too. Actually, let me look at this first because it says warning. Proceed with caution, graphic details in pictures. So I just want to make sure that nothing too bad is being seen in here. Okay. And shout out to I Am Legacy. Excuse me. Shout out to I Am Legacy. So the canine SAR expert, Harry Oakes, this is like a little while ago, just so you guys know, reported that search dogs tracked Dane's scent from his bedroom to the river's edge. Multiple SAR dogs, including a police canine, gave strong unalive alerts, ears down, tail down, staring and whining. Wow. Harry Oakes, believes Dane is either in the river or rainwater carried scent from a surface location. And of course, this is before he was found. All right. The river is 48 degrees and moving at 10 feet per second, making recovery difficult. Out of 139 cases, drowning cases, Oakes worked. Some victims were never found. He found no signs of foul play or any type of kind of predator activity at the scene. That could be many different things. That could be, wild animals to an actual human predator. Okay. However, he won't return. He won't return unless the family requests a river search by boat. Okay. Why isn't there a full-scale recovery mission? That's that, and of course, that doesn't matter anymore now because this family has found this young boy, right? So again, this is very, very, very heartbreaking information. And like I said, we're still trying to figure out what the heck happened here. How did this happen? I still want to have an answer. I still need an answer, guys. I'm sorry. I will not be satisfied until I get a full answer of how long was he not attended to? Because that could be very bad. The fact that they're like, yeah, he wasn't, they haven't seen him and they, or they didn't see him. He was not within eyesight. That means so many different things, guys. Real talk. That means so many different things. That could be neglect. That could be literally they walked inside to get one of his toys or something like that and walked back out. Who was watching him? That's the other question too. Who was actually watching him? Could it be that he was, was somebody else? Even my dogs want to know. They're like, what's up with that, man? So was it neglect? Was he being watched by somebody else and that person turned around? Was it only just his mom watching him? And then suddenly, you see what I'm saying? She turned around and he ran off. I mean, there's things that just don't make any sense. Did she go inside and take a nap? Did she go inside and go to the bathroom and left him outside? But I agree, Debbie, toddlers are very fast. So it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. 1 second they're there. The next minute you can turn around, pick something up off the ground, turn back around, and they're gone. Right? So this is very, very odd. Let's see. Let's see here. Okay, so this is the first. This is the first, just so you guys know, this is the first report that is out here so far. Okay, that just literally came out just a few minutes ago. All right. So let's take a look at this. Okay. Let's take a look at this. Investigators say Dane was likely at the edge before he vanished. So he was at the river's edge and he may have fallen. He may have slipped. That's very, very possible, right? Sorry, just blowing this up so you guys can see this. So, two-year-old boy who went missing from his family home earlier this month and prompted a massive search effort in the area was found unalive in Siletz River on Tuesday, according to deputies. Paulsen Dane was last seen in his yard of his Siletz home on March 1st around 4:30 p.m. About 10 days later, the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office confirmed that his body was found approximately 3 miles downstream from his home on March 11th today. May he rest in peace. Real talk. It's heartbreaking. Our thoughts are with the family who are facing an unbearable sorrow. This is what the sheriff said. We're deeply grateful for the support and dedication shown by search teams and our communities throughout this difficult time, though we wish it was under different circumstances, which totally understandable. The child's body was discovered by, I was about to say, give him some credit, Juan Heredia, with Angel's Recovery Dive Team, while he joined a volunteer search effort on behalf of the family. Details are unclear until a medical examiner can determine the exact cause of Dane's demise. Before finding Dane, search and rescue efforts covered hundreds of miles on the ground and in the air, eventually shifting their focus to the Siletz River. I mean, they were out there. So that's why I mean by it's so crazy. Well, one, and that's the other thing too. We got to give them all props. Real talk. Every single last one of them. Even the fact that it was overseen. Real talk. Even the fact that it was overseen, like that he was overlooked in a way that like they passed over him. They must have passed over him a bunch of times, right? But it's wild that 3 miles down the river and they still didn't see him. Pretty wild stuff. But still, they didn't give up. They kept looking for him. They were not going to stop. So again, huge shout out to law enforcement and everyone that was involved. But of course, huge shout out to Juan for finding the young boy. But still, unbelievable that it was days before this young boy was actually found. Unbelievable. Like several days, not even days, several days. Okay. Heredia. Okay. Maybe it's Heredia. Okay. Okay. So as search efforts intensified, law enforcement said there was, quote unquote, no evidence to suggest criminal actions are involved. Rather, evidence indicated that Dane had been at the Siletz River's edge before he vanished, according to investigators. Now, I'm wondering what they mean by like, that's all he did. He just walked up to the edge and then he just vanished to the river's edge. Really? Are you sure about that? Hopefully they have proof of that, right? Not just a sign cutter. Real talk. And dogs. No disrespect to the dogs or the sign cutter. I'm just saying. I would hope that they are doing everything they can to make sure that this is just a full-on tragic accident than it being something like, foul play, right? But I'd like to know where they know that he just walked up. Do they have footage of that? Because if he did fall, if they have footage of that, then that's all she wrote, right? But moving on. Okay, the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office previously described Dane as comfortable around strangers and water, like I just said a second ago, but added that he cannot swim. So again, 2-year-old kid and his 2-year-old mind is sitting there going, ooh, water. I'm getting kind of hot and sweaty because I've been running around. I'd love to get in the water. Maybe he did that. Maybe he threw his favorite toy in the river and then jumped after it. That's possible too. And he's a kid. He doesn't know. He's 2. So again, that is very possible that happened, right? Again, crazy stuff, guys. This is just heartbreaking stuff. We're looking, we're getting more stuff before, and for those of y'all who are just getting to the party, just getting to the show, first off, please do me a favor, okay? It helps the show. Keep hitting that like button down below. Hit that like button down below. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Don't forget to subscribe. All right, we got some new updates revolving around this situation. This is a very tragic situation. If you're just getting to the show, just getting into the situation, first off, hit that like button down below. But Dane-Paulsen, 2-year-old Dane-Paulsen, has been found. He was found in the actual river that they've been looking in for weeks, and he was found by a search and rescue individual, okay, by the name of Juan Heredia. I'm sorry for butchering these names, guys. I am sorry. It's not a choice, okay? But a diver that came in just a few hours ago went in today, and 2 hours later found him 3 miles downstream from where he allegedly vanished, from the location that he allegedly vanished. So again, it's sad, very sad, and extremely terrifying for something like this to actually happen, and for something like this to be even real. I still can't even believe it. To be completely real. I'm trying to see if there's anything, like I'd expect a little bit more information, right? Than just what we have gathered so far. There has been something from Lincoln County Sheriff's Office. There has been a statement that's been made, which is good. They just released this about a few minutes ago. So let's take a look at this as well. All right. So this is from the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office. What they just released is with heavy hearts that we announced the discovery of Dane-Paulsen, who had been found missing since March 1st, 2025, around 4:25 p.m. After an extensive search and investigation by local authorities, along with the help of community volunteers, Dane was found today at approximately 11:13 a.m. Wow. Not very long ago. Just a few hours ago, guys. In the Siletz River, approximately 3 miles downstream from the family's property. So like I said, they've been just going up and down in their boats. They've been searching everywhere. And, it's a lot of river. Let's be real. It's a lot of river. So I could see something being, them passing over. Or it could have been a situation where, God forbid, but maybe he was stuck under something, or maybe his clothes was, tagged onto something underneath the river, in the river that held him there for a little bit, right? And again, that could be very well what it is, right? Maybe something happened, it loosened up and then let him go, and he maybe floated more to the top or something. I don't know. I hate to say it like that, but that's possible, right? I mean, remember Riley Strain. We just talked about Riley Strain earlier this morning. That Riley Strain was found by a logging area, right? And it was miles down the river. And it was in an area that they were searching like crazy. And then suddenly out of nowhere, he just pops up, right? And somebody randomly finds him. You know what I mean? So again, that is possible. Maybe his clothes tagged him onto something. He was stuck underneath and he's just been there. And then finally, something let him go. Maybe, right? But that was 3 miles downstream from the family's property. Okay. Sadly, he was found deceased. So Juan, with Angel's recovery dive team, offered his dive services to Dane's family. After connecting with the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office, Juan was escorted onto the river by a local river guide and began searching areas of the Siletz River downstream from where Sheriff's Office divers had thoroughly combed. So they're admitting it. They're already admitting it right there. So that's good. They're taking accountability. Like, we were in that area and we found nothing and he found it, right? So Sheriff's Office investigators are currently processing the scene. The Lincoln County Sheriff's Office is working in partnership with the Lincoln County Medical Examiner's Office, as is standard with ongoing investigations. Additional details are not available at this time. The Lincoln County Sheriff's Office expresses its deepest sympathies to Dane's family and loved ones. The impact of this loss is felt by the entire community, and we join those grieving the unimaginable tragedy. Our thoughts, are with the family who are facing unbearable sorrow. This is what the sheriff said. We are deeply grateful for the support and dedication shown by the search teams in our communities throughout this difficult time, though we wish it was under different circumstances. We understand that this news is incredibly painful, especially for Dane's family and those who knew him. Dane's family has been notified. Out of respect for the family's privacy during this profoundly difficult time, we ask the public and media to respect their need for space and time to grieve. Now, of course, I understand that 110%. But if there is any signs of foul play on this young boy's body, if his body shows any type of signs like that, I hope that they're very transparent, and I hope they let the people know and the family know if there's any type of foul play. But again, let me just say this again. I'm not saying that there is foul play, but he could have just fallen in, and that could have literally been it, which is still extremely painful to hear, because we don't want to hear that. Of course we don't. We most definitely don't want to hear that. Right? We most definitely don't want to hear that. Whoops. I got to show you guys this photo. Man, oh man. Poor kid. Poor kid. This is why I say, really watch your kids. And I know we're not perfect all the time. This is what we do every day. The constant stress of trying to be as good as we can as parents, as attentive as we can, but we can't be attentive all the time. I mean, shoot, we turn this way, and you know what I mean, and something happens. It can be a split second where you're not hovering over your child to make sure that they're safe. Things do happen. Mistakes do happen. But I will say this. If it is a situation, because we don't know the situation, we don't know the full situation. That's what I mean by the information is scarce with this. It's just sad. I gotta show you guys that photo again, because what really irks my soul with this one is because of the river in the background. That's why I was like, oh damn, because it's the body of water behind him. It's like weird cryptic foreshadowing, if that makes any sense. This stuff breaks my heart. But what I'm trying to say is, we're not perfect. We try to be as good of parents as we can. Yes, it takes 2 seconds for a kid to do something. But when it comes to this, I keep wondering what actually happened. When you say he was out of sight, how was he out of sight? What was going on? Who was watching him? More importantly, who was watching him? Was it, I think he has a sister. Was it his sister watching him? You see what I'm saying? That's possible. Kids can be kids. You got a teenage girl busy on her phone. God only knows how old she is, but you know what I mean? She's on her phone. She's too busy gossiping with her girlfriends, that kind of thing, looking at things on Snapchat and TikTok. I could see something like that happening where she just looks down at her phone for 2 seconds and Dane disappears. Or the mom went inside to go grab something and left him unattended, thinking it would only be 3 seconds. But it was 3 seconds too long, right? I don't know. It's like I said, it's a very odd and heartbreaking situation that still we don't have the full answers to. Like I said, I'm not trying to point fingers at anyone, but when you say unattended or out of sight, how long was he out of sight for? How long did you know that he was out of sight? And what were you doing when he was out of sight? Because if it's a split second thing, that's one thing. If it's you went inside to turn off the stove, let's just say, maybe you had some cookies in the oven or something like that, and you ran in there to turn off the oven and get the cookies out, and you came back outside and he was gone, that's another thing. But if you went inside to continue watching your stories, okay, and as soon as the episode ended, you came back outside and you're like, wait, Dane, where are you? That's another thing. You see what I'm saying? So weird. Let me see if there's anything more. I'm looking, guys. But this, for everybody, this is a heartbreaking thing. Yeah, I mean, right now, all they're saying right now is he has been found. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even Juan put something up on Facebook. I guess he put a post basically saying, he found him, after 2 hours diving the river, I found baby Dane, RIP. Like I said, I think a lot of people, at least the people who are out there searching for him, the public, the people who are obviously very much attached to this situation, I'm sure a lot of them are going to want to have answers, right? They're going to want to have answers, their questions answered. And unfortunately, it'll be up to the parents to actually speak out and say what they need to say in regards to this situation. Because what they've told to the public is minimal. And then I can see how people can look at that and turn it into something else. And I hope that it doesn't turn into anything worse. Let's see what the autopsy says. Let's see what medical examiner says. Let's see what the police say. Once this young boy's remains have been examined, I'm sure his body will tell a story if there's a story that needs to be told. But again, my heart goes out to the family. My heart goes out to all the people that were out there looking for him. Shoot, my heart goes out to the law enforcement that were definitely deeply affected by this as well. They definitely were. Even in that press conference, you can tell she was holding back as much of her tears as she could too. And I get it. It's a almost 2-year-old boy. I guess he's 18 months or something like that. Still a terrifying thing. Because this little boy should have been able to see the full potential of his life. And now he won't. Is it really because of neglect? Or is it because of 2 seconds they turned around and did something, turned back around, and he was gone? I really, really hope we get that kind of clarification here very soon, right? I hope we get that answer very, very soon, right? But that is the show, guys. Of course, if there's more information revolving around Dane's situation, if there's a press conference and all that, like, that's the thing. I was wondering if there was going to be a press conference. I have yet to see anything about a press conference, personally. I mean, I am looking around to see if there's anything, and they really haven't said anything. So if there is one and I'm around, we will check it out. Okay? But may this young boy rest in peace. I think this is absolutely terrifying and sad and heartbreaking to hear. I think for every parent out here, this is a scary thing. And all I can say is just keep an eye on your kids, okay? As best as you can, especially if they're outside. Don't leave them outside, guys. Just don't leave them outside. That's all I ask. Don't leave them outside while they're playing and you got to go take care of something. It's like, no. You coming in with me. You know what I mean? Like, I got to go turn this thing off. We're going to go and do it together. You know, kids are going to kids. Kids are going to be kids. They're going to run around. They're going to do what they do. Okay. They're curious. They're especially when they're not allowed to go into a room or into a space or into an area. They're going to want to go to that space because they're like, mom ain't here. Let's go. You know what I mean? So again, you know, not putting any blame on anybody. We're not unless there is reason to put blame on anybody. We're going to keep that on the side for right now. What we need to do is take this in and realize that kids are going to be kids. Keep an eye on them. Do everything you can to love them. Be as attentive as you can. And keep them away from large bodies of water. Anyway, guys, I appreciate all y'all. It really means a lot. Stay strong out there. My heart goes out to those guys, to this family. May this little boy rest in peace. And then we'll be talking here soon. All right. But before we get going, hit that like button down below if you can. That'll be really appreciated. Okay. It helps grow the show, helps get the word out there about this story. Of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Subscribe here. Go and hit that follow button on all my platforms. I'm on all of them. Go check out Pascal merch. Sorry, not Pascal merch. The Pascal Show clips. Please go over there and check it out as well. That'd be greatly appreciated. All right. Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. Check out my locals. And of course, we'll try that again. Check out PascalMerch.com. Okay, guys. But anyway, guys, it's time to get going. But we'll talk here soon. Okay. There's a bunch of stuff going on, a bunch of updates going on. I will try to get you guys those updates a little bit later on tonight, God willing. So it's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.